Hello everyone, Sobertron here, and welcome to the first episode of the TekTopia Survival Guide. In this series, I'm going to go over Tango Tek's custom mod called TekTopia. For those of you who don't know, TekTopia is a mod created by a friend of mine named Tango Tek, and he completely overhauls vanilla villagers. So in this guide, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks. I've been playing the mod for many months now. I'm going to go over some game mechanics like this amazing wall right here, but we'll get to that later. But one thing I want to start with is this amazing little book right here. So you'll get it when you spawn a new world. This is kind of one of the ways you know that you've successfully installed the mod. You spawn with the book. It goes over a quick little summary of what TekTopia is, and then really it's going to direct you to the wiki. Now, the wiki that was developed with this mod is an amazing resource that I still use to this day. But all that aside, what I tell people first is TekTopia is a lot like vanilla Minecraft, you know? You gotta punch a tree every now and then. So that's how we're gonna get started. You have to prepare yourself before you can really take care of your villagers. So I'm gonna walk around, gather some resources. That wall told me there's a village nearby, so I might go check that out. But I will be back with you shortly once I've gathered up a few things. So I've been gathering up some resources, and I realized I don't have a bed. So we're gonna go check out this village that was indicated by that border earlier, and see if I can borrow one from this village over here. As you can see, there are villagers roaming around. Yes, bed, sleep. They won't mind. It's okay. I'm sure. You know what? No. Yeah, you don't need that. I got that. That's fine. You'll survive, little guy. So immediately after that clip, in that village, a necromancer spawned. So I'm gonna run. I'm just gonna not deal with this right now. I am illfully equipped to deal with this. So sorry guys. I don't think you're gonna last very long. Well, it's been many hours later, like 4. And I've mined up a lot of things. I've chopped down a few trees. I've killed a couple pigs. You guy, you're next. And I've got a lot of resources. I got very lucky in the diamond area because, I don't know, I just picked a good spot, and 49 diamonds later, here we are. I've got a lot of iron. I've been using quite a bit of it, making tools as they broke. A lot of redstone, which we don't need right now, but will come in handy several episodes down. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to finish smelting up all this food and this iron. We're going to consolidate some of these resources, and we are moving on because currently we are in the spawn chunks. And spawn chunks for these villages, probably not the best idea. Spawn chunks are continually running when you're in the overworld, And if you were going out to gather some other resource and you were away from your village, a nasty necromancer might appear. And with you not around, it could lead to a bad time. So we're gonna move far, far away. I've got a spot picked out over yonder. It's quite far, but we're gonna raid some villages, hopefully on the way there, and you'll see why in a moment. So for obvious reasons, I have left the spawn chunks. We don't want necromancers appearing when we're not around, and I've made my way over towards where we're going, and that's what I'm looking for right there. So raiding villagers, if you're trying to get a leg up when you initially start playing, is an amazing thing. You could take beds because you might not have enough wool to start your village population. So bedrooms with beds are nice, but what we're really looking for here is emerald. So what we're looking for right now is the storage building. Sometimes within this mod, though, uh, the icons pop off when a village is generated, like here. So we can tell that's a town hall right now. There's 6 bedrooms. But what we're really looking for is the storage build, which the icon is a chest. Now I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% certain that uh, a storage always spawns. So if that was the case, that would be really upsetting. Ah, there it is. There is the storage building. And as you can see, vanilla Minecraft generation, which is what TekTopia uses, has failed us. So right now, villagers can't get in there, and neither can we. So what we're going to do is block up, go inside, and get some emerald. Yes, emeralds are the key currency to this mod. uh, when your traveling merchant arrives and he offers you trades to sell your wares, he gives you emeralds in return, and likely so, you use those emeralds with your architect and your tradesmen to create new professions and new structures. So emeralds are key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep making our way towards our build area and hopefully raiding more villages on our way. So one thing that I've noticed that is beneficial when first starting off a new world of TekTopia is to harvest the things you know you're gonna need. So in this case, wool. Now I haven't been eating any mutton, but wool will definitely come in handy in the early stages of TekTopia for beds, because ranchers who normally would get you the wool aren't around all that often in the early days of the game. So gathering as much wool as possible before you even start your village will be very, very beneficial in the long run. So I'm just gonna come around here and harvest a couple more sheep, get some wool, and we'll be back in a moment. Hopefully we find another village. So it is a new morning in the game. I just slept, much needed sleep, and I have finally stumbled across where we plan on building. So I've decided to build this series in a plains biome. There were a couple of reasons for this specific area. One is that there are some extreme hills off in the distance, um, possibly even some close by, that we can use to mine some emeralds, and emeralds are key to the economy of this mod. The other reason is that it's relatively flat and there's not a lot of terraforming I'm going to need to do. There's going to be a bit that is going to be required, but not a whole lot. Um, and there's already a village here to start off with that I can use to kind of get some economy going. It's not going to be permanent. It's going to be very temporary because I do plan on building my own village from scratch. But some of you may want to use a pre-existing village uh, to build things, and that's fine. A lot of people find it a way to go. There's one thing that a lot of people don't realize though is that any structures that are in the village right off the bat are tied to that specific village. All the NBT data for this structure right here I'm looking at is loaded to the town hall token. So I can't just pop that off and take it and be like, oh, look, I have a level 6 house. I'm going to use it in my village. It doesn't work. A lot of people on Tango's public Discord, he used this for this mod, try to do that, and they constantly ask questions as why doesn't this token work? And that's the reason. That NBT data is tied to the village it's in. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this village to just to get some resources going, but I'm not going to use it permanently. So what we're going to do right now is find the storage building again to raid, and it looks like it's this right here. A lot of times you'll notice too is that the uh, vanilla generation will pop off the token. So there's no token on this building, but I can obviously see it's a storage, and I want to take those emeralds because emeralds, like I've said previously, are key. Right now I've got a nice little stockpile, almost half a stack of emeralds. It's gonna really come in handy when I start my own village, and just having that little bit of extra currency is gonna help greatly in getting things going right away. Now that we've arrived at our build location, I've gone into spectator mode just to show you guys out there what this area looks like. It's relatively flat. There are a couple of lava hazards, a couple of holes that I'm going to need to fix, and some of these lakes are going to need to be filled in. But I really just wanted to show this monstrosity known as a vanilla village. Prior to 1.14, vanilla villages were really bad. They just had really bad generation. You can see this giant house right up here in the foreground with no way to get in. So this whole thing needs to go. I plan on harvesting some of these resources to use because my idea for this is that because this mod gives us better villagers, I'm going to create for them a better vanilla village. So it's going to be a lot of cobble, it's going to be a lot of oak, some spruce, but I've got ideas. I hope you guys enjoy it, but for right now, this whole village is going to come down, and I will be back shortly once that's done. So it's been about 4 hours, and I have totally destroyed this vanilla village. Now this isn't something you need to do. I'm doing this simply because I like the terrain here, but that village is not part of my plans, so I just wanted it out the way early. You can very easily find a different area without a village there, or you can take over the village and just use it. I want to build something up from scratch, and that's why I've done this. What we're going to do next, though, is we are going to light this place up. A lot of new players do not really realize how much they need to light their place up. Your village border is big. It extends 120 blocks from where the town hall marker is, and it goes in all four directions. What I've done right now is I've placed little trails of torches from that black wool 120 blocks out. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through and just fill in the whole area and light it up. Trying to get just everything above light level 7 so we don't have any mobs spawning in here whatsoever. Another thing players tend to do is to build a wall. I do intend on doing something later with that, but that's a little bit more resource intensive right now. I've got enough coal, I've got enough wood, I can just craft a bunch of torches, and I'm good to go. So I will be back with you shortly once I have this done. Well, it's a new day in TekTopia, and I've done quite a bit. I've built ourselves a nice little town hall, a rather large storage building, which will come in handy, and a little house. This house over here, this is kind of the minimum size you need to make it. Each villager needs 12 internal floor tiles. The beds and chairs actually don't remove the floor space. Other blocks can, but this is 25 block square, so that's enough for 2 villagers. So what we're going to do right now is we will be crafting our town hall token. Now, once we craft our token and place it up and it activates, a chest will spawn inside the town hall, and it will allow us to, it will give us some profession tokens and some structure tokens. So this is the pattern right here to craft our town hall token. You need 1 iron sword, axe, hoe, and pick, as well as a diamond, and you can move these items around and it still creates the town hall token just fine. So we'll craft that up right there. I'm also going to put a couple chairs inside the town hall for our architect and our merchant. And this is the crafting recipe for it right here. And this block up here is interchangeable, just like the tools are for the town hall token. I'm going to craft up 2 of those while we get ready to get this village going. One other thing that I did was, if you notice earlier, there was about 12 or so villagers over here before. I have, let's call it, relocated them, except for 2. So I kept 1 lumberjack and I kept 1 farmer, and that's because it's essentially a free villager. You can take villagers from other villages and it will work in your village. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm giving myself 2 free villagers. Not everybody's going to be able to do this. If you don't build near a village, you're just going to get those 2 initial profession tokens. But right now, I've got the lumberjack, I've got the farmer, and I'm going to get an additional one when I activate this town hall. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. Bam. When it's glowing, you know it's working, and in a moment you should see the architect and merchants, or architect and tradesmen spawn in there, and our villagers should actually start moving. Yep, there they are. One other thing I kind of wanted to do is to give our villagers a little bit of a leg up on food. So I've got a couple apples and some pork chops, so that should help them get going in the early game. So now all we have to do right now is, that's what we need to do. Chest with these tokens. So that's really it. Now all we have to do is go and place these tokens down. And it glows right away like we like to see. That means the structure is valid. And I think the reason they're not moving right now is they don't see the storage building too. There it goes. So within the storage building, you can arrange your chests however you'd like. I just went with single chests. You can use double chests. You can use trap chests. And you want to put 1 crafting table in here, and that's how your villagers will create tools before you have a miner and a blacksmith who can get you the resources and craft you those tools together. It's not beneficial to put more than 1 in here because only 1 is registered by the structure itself. So another reason why our guys aren't doing anything right now is I don't have any farmland. I don't have any trees within the box of the village. So they're just gonna stand around all day. Here's the other mechanics that I wanted to show you. This is our traveling merchant, and this is a nomad. So our traveling merchant is the guy who will trade for. So at the beginning, you can trade him emeralds for some pretty good food. I think there's golden carrots in there, cookies, things like that. But then also, he's going to show you what he wants and the exchange rate. So 64 beets for 4 emeralds, wheat, and then wood. So the merchant knows that we only have farmers and lumberjacks right now. So that's all he's offering us. Later on, when we get more advanced villagers, I'll call it that, he'll start to ask for, iron ore. He'll ask for diamond tools, diamonds themselves. and the trade values are different. I believe it's like 4 diamonds for 13 emeralds. But the other thing about this with the economy is that uh, the prices will be variable. So if you trade him, 4 stacks of wood, the next time he wants to trade you that particular wood, he's not going to be offering you as much emeralds. So you gotta balance out your economy. You have to try to diversify what villagers you have. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope you liked the episode. I'm going to do some work off camera because I need to terraform a bit. I need to finish filling in this area. I need to bring this hill way far back. Um, and I need to start prepping for the next week's episode, which I hope to get a little bit more in-depth into the farmer and the lumberjack. But with that, I will see you guys later. Bye!